First, though, since I'm in California, I wanted to mention a story I saw this morning regarding the leading Democrat candidate for governor here, hoping to replace Gavin Newsom in the election this November. Eric Swalwell, a congressman from Northern California's 14th district in the San Fran Bay area, is currently leading a crowded field of Dem hopefuls, including former frontrunner Katie Porter, whose campaign nosedived after viral video clips revealed her abrasive and potentially abusive personality, losing her temper and berating a staffer in one clip and mocking a reporter's legitimate question and ending an interview early in another. Here's a bit of Katie in case you forgot.
And the state could lose for get out of my shot.
Yeah, how dare you? With Porter fading, Swalwell is now in the spotlight despite his alleged 4-year-long relationship with a Chinese spy named Christine Fang from 2011 until 2015. Fang, as many called her, targeted Swalwell and other up-and-coming polls in the Bay Area, trying to gain influence and access classified materials. And while there's no evidence she got any from Swalwell, she did fundraise for his 2014 re-election campaign and placed an intern in his office. And the two allegedly spent quality time together over the years until FBI agents alerted the congressman to the fact he was consorting with a Chinese spy, which is when he apparently cut ties with her. Swalwell was also referred to the DOJ last November for alleged mortgage fraud by claiming his Washington, D.C. home was his primary residence to get a better bank rate. The congressman claimed he was a victim of a political witch hunt and filed a lawsuit against the feds. The lawsuit and the investigation are apparently ongoing, but that's not even why I brought him up. Because, as it turns out, Swalwell, who's gained fame among the far left by proudly claiming to be President Trump's biggest and loudest critic, is now facing fresh accusations he doesn't even live in California, which he represents in Congress. And one of his opponents in the upcoming governor's race says he should not be allowed to run, since the state's constitution requires candidates live here for 5 years before they're eligible to run for office. Swalwell and his wife do rent a home in Livermore, California, but according to neighbors, they're never there. The California Post interviewed 5 other residents on the quiet cul-de-sac where Swalwell claims to have lived since 2017, and not a single one of those neighbors says they've ever seen the congressman or his wife. Which kind of makes sense, since Swalwell claimed D.C. is his primary residence on his mortgage application, but he's also claiming he's a resident here, even though, as we all know, you can't be in 2 places at once, and you can only have 1 primary residence. The Post reports there was a dog in the backyard, so someone is apparently using the house. But neighbors say it's not the congressman, who, according to public records, prefers to stay in high-end hotels when he's in town, and not the home where he claims to live. After his opponent Tom Steyer accused him of being a resident on paper only, Swalwell fired back with this X post, writing, "I receive hundreds of death threats every year. My children are not allowed in the yard. That's why my address is private. And now Tom Steyer has not only put my life at risk, but also my family's by releasing my address." And the California Post and Daily Mail took his bait and are harassing my neighbors. "Tom, you can try and buy this election all you want, but this is low, even for you." Here's the thing. In order to be doxxed, Congressman, you'd actually have to be living in that house. And it's hard to imagine how your lives might be in danger from someone having the address if you're never at that address. And it's also kind of funny how you now care about your neighbors being harassed by a couple reporters, since your neighbors have no idea who you are. And my guess is you have no idea who they are either. The only possible saving grace for Swalwell is the California Secretary of State ruled back in 2021 the 5-year residency requirement was somehow a violation of the U.S. Constitution, and that candidates are only required to be U.S. citizens. So I guess it's okay to have to prove you're a citizen to run for office, but it's not okay to have to prove you're a citizen to vote for someone running for office. Swalwell's opponent is fighting the residency ruling, and we'll keep you posted on developments in the race to run this state.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.